nigga that sip the Kool-Aid. That La Frog, single barrel and goose egg. Got the coke going up on a Tuesday. Roast the false prophet like a gourmet souffle. Cause me don't say spirit gun like you skate. Nigga might run up in that black face like Gucci. Boycott a cracker. Kill your favorite rapper. Cause I run with G's like a Green Bay Packer. I chop a Christian like a new machete. When you polygynist, they look at you like R. Kelly. Still these women wanna do me like I'm Akinelli. West Coast sisters love me like a Machiavelli. Make these crackers lick the dust off my boots. We want no cowards in our camp and we ain't taking recruits. My crew the livest, y'all suckers is the jobbers. Niggas run their lives but they damn sure wouldn't try us. Nah, I ain't the same cat who used to break laws. They just rather see me as the same cause. Some rather remain lost. My brain washed with these stained thoughts. I be repping for my niggas riding for the same cause. Cult leader. Yeah. Well, bitch, then I'm a cult leader. Yeah. Better ask somebody, bitch.
Cult leader. Yeah. We speak the truth, but we a cult leader. Yeah. Well, bitch, then I'm a cult leader. Yeah. Well, bitch, then I'm a cult leader. Yeah. According to God, the white man is the devil. See, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this white ass, need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that bygone. Boy, ass you to stop and ask you to prop. It's about to get serious. When they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, what the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. He cashed out on your blood, traded you in and bought a new biz. Ask you the prophets, I tell you the scheme. If you don't wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I tell you once, won't tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga and fed the up for parole because of the COVID. It feel like the host in this world that don't go together. Know it's gold in the ghetto. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just told the devil the skull never settle. Yeah, see the prophets. I'm tired of these niggas keep talking about, you respect my religion, I respect your religion. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the props. Like we all come together. Cause they say God so loved the world. God so loved the world, and boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the props. Don't give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. Hey, gentlemen, y'all don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up. You know what I'm saying? Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to prop. One step, I'm silent for show. To the fake niggas, stay silent, I got it, let's go. I ain't taking no losses, ain't no token when we got the flow. Ain't no peace, just play with you. I'ma be low to the right arm. Tell them we can't keep it slate. And I can never let bygone be bygone. Got your baby mother on high. Got your baby pass through the fire. Ask you the prophets, that baby so belong to the Lord. How dare you abort it? Therefore a failure, bitch, I can afford it. I prepare slaughter, you bring me my water. Plus your leaders weak, let them lies slip through their teeth. Their ass need to stop and ask you the prophets.
That's just the reality, Christians. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. I know your pastor lied to you every Sunday for 30 years, but that's what the church is for, lying. That's why it exists to lie the money out of your pockets.
Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga.
Yasharallah, which means to Israel. I'm Mariam, Wapanya Hakodam, which means stand and face the east. Lord's Prayer, first in Hebrew, then in English. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Wadaj, Haya, Shamkab, Yahweh, Malakwathka, Taba'ab, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'aratazab, Kawab, Haya, Bashamayam, Natan Lanawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalak Lanawa, Kawawath Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kawawath Yanawa, Wala'ab, Tabaya'anawa, Banasayawad, Abal, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Lakab, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahatapa'ara, La'ai Walamyam, Aman, in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Prayer for power, first in Hebrew, then in English. Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Babakosha, Natan Lanawa, Hakak, Larapa'ah, Ka Makala, Wakal Malawa, Hakak, Latahar, Ha Matazaria, Hakak, Lahakoyam, Hamathiam, Hakak, Ir Rakwa, Hatama'ala, Lagarashan, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Thawada, Aman, in English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power to cast them out against unclean spirits. Slucky. The power against unclean spirits to cast them out in the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you, so be it. Psalms 121, verse in Hebrew. Ash'ah, Ayanya, Ahaharyam, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Ma'ayim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayam, Wa Aratza, Al Yatan, Lamawat, Regalka, Al Yanawam, Shemarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawa, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasharala, Yahweh, Shemarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al Yad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ayakaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal Rai, Yashamar, Ath Napashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazaathka, Wabawa'aka, Ma'aitha, Wa'aid, it's like Wa'aid Iwalam. In English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help coming from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is the shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forward, even forevermore. Blessed in the power structure, first in Hebrew, then in English. Barak, Atah, Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai, Wa Mayaka Allah, Wa Alahayim, Matazabia Alawat Yahana. Salaki. Ha Alawapyam, Ha Saranyam, Ha Quatazayanyam, Ha Kayayalyam, Ha Waha Akwathian, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, the water, Aman, in English. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, Commander General Yohana, the officers, the captains. Slaki. Slaki. We'll start there from the top. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, Commander General Yohana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Psalms 83, first in Hebrew. It's like Alahayim, Al-Dama, it's like Al-Damayalaka, Al-Thakarash, Waha, it's like Al-Tashakwat, Al-Kayahana, Awayabiaka, Yahama, it's like Yahama Yawan, Wama Shana Yaka, Nasha'a, it's like Nasha'a Wa, Ra'ash, Al-Aimaka, it's like Yairiam, it's like Yairiyamwa. So what? Wayataya taza, it's like Wayata, it's like Wayataya aitazawa. Al tazapanwa yaka. Amar wa laka wa. Wanakakira Magaya Wala'a Yakar Sham Yasharala Awad Kaya Nawa Aitazawa La Yakadwa Al Yaka Barya Yakarathwa Ahalia Adawam Waya Shemai Alayam Mawa'aba Wahagaryam Gabal Wa'imawad Wa'imalak Palashat Aim Yashabia Tazawar Gam Ashawar Nalawa Imam Hayawa Zarawai Labanya Lawat Salah Aisha Laham Kamadian Kayasara'a Kayabian Banaka Kwayashwan Nashamadwa Ba'anya da Ba'ayanda Ara Hayawa Daman La Adama Shayatamwa Nadayap Mawa Ka'ira Waka Za'aba Waka Zabak Waka Tazamanai Ka Nasaya Ka Nasaya Kamwa Ashar Amarwa Nayarasha Lanawa Na'awa Alahaya Satamwa Kagalgala Kakwash Talahat Haryab Khan Taradatma Basa Irika Wabasa Wapatka Bahalam Looks like it Mala'a Panyaham Qualawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayabahalwa, Aid Yaid, Wayakaparwa, Waya Abadwa, Waya da Aiwa, Kaya, Ata, Shamka, Yahawa, Labadka, Aliyawan, Al Ka, it's like Al Ka Ha Arataza in English. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult. They that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur is also joined with them. They have holpen the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabed, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Z. Yea, all their princes as Zabah, and as Zelmunah, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the Most High in possession. O Yahweh, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, as the flame setteth the mountain on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Yahweh. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. All right, bless Israel, first in the Hebrew, then in English. Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barak Lanawa, Wayasharala, Wahab Bayat Saparia, Barak, Rapa'ah, Magan, Hagan, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Tawada, Aman in English. Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you. So be it. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court systems, the prison systems, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, the Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, posse comitazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seeks to stop us and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shai, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathen that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media throughout the whole world. Cause it to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you. Thank you always, so be it. Sar Yeshabia, which means turn and sit and be seated. All right, so this week we're just going to be picking up basically from where we left off last week. So we're in the book of Genesis, the third chapter, starting at the first verse. Slack. All right. Again, so we're going to start at Genesis, the third chapter, starting at the first verse. Wanahakash Haya Arawam Makal. It's like a Makal. Chayath Hashada Ashar Aisha Yahweh Alahayim Waya Amar Al Ha'asha Apa Kaya Amar Alahayim La'a
the Akalwa, Makal, Aitaza, Hagan, Watha Amar, Ha'asha, Al, Hanakash, Maparia, Aitaza, Hagan, Naakal, verse 3. Wamaparia, Aitaza, Ashar, Bathawak, Hagan, Amar, Alahayam, La'a, the Akalwa, Mamanwa, Wala'a, Thigaiwa, Pan, the math one, verse 4. Waya Amar, Hanakash, Al, Ha'asha, La'a, Mawath, the math one, Kaya, Yadai, Alahayam, Kaya, Bayawam, Wakalkam, Mamanwa, Wana pa kwaha Wana pa kwaha khahwa Slakia. Wana pa wa Wana pa kwahaya. Yana yakam. Waha yaya thumb. Ka'alahayam. Yada'aya. All right, select it. Tawab wa ra'i. Verse 6. Wa thara'a ha'asha kaya tawab ha'aitaza lama akal wa kaya ta'awa hawa'a la'ayanyam wana khamad ha'aitaza laha shakayal wathaqwacha. Okay. Wahathaqwaq. Salakia. Maparioa. Wathaqal. Wathathan. Gum. La'ayasha. Salakia. Yeah. La'ayasha. Ama. Wayakal. Verse 7. Wathapa kwachana ayanya sanayaham wayadaiwa kaya ayaramam ham wayathapawa ala the ana waya aishwa laham khagarath. All right. All right, let's start at verse 1. Again, the book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which Yahweh the Most High had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, the Most High said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. So, first and foremost, again, we as we've gone over and talked about Genesis, we talked about its allegorical nature, right? How Genesis is a story that uses similitudes and analogies, right? But it's not 100% literal, right? So we know that the serpent wasn't actually an animal that, it wasn't a snake, right? It wasn't a literal snake. The serpent in this context was figurative, right? It was a man, right? And right here we see what he's starting to do is he didn't come to Adam when he tried to destroy them or introduce a doctrine that he knew was not going to fly in their culture or their society. Again, so Adam, all right, let's look at this in the context of what it actually was scripturally, right? Adam was a man who was of low estate, right? That's what it means to be, to come from the dirt. All of a sudden, the Most High chooses to raise him up, right? The Most High chooses him. He doesn't choose the serpent. He doesn't choose these other nations. He doesn't choose any other beast of the field. He chose Adam. And then he gave Adam said authority, right? And so this serpent, this snake in the grass, this backstabber, this traitor, this person who turned on who was once, usually you notice that it's always the ones that are closest, right? So it was most likely, from the sense of the story, right? Adam, of course, and when it says about Adam being formed, Adam was in a low state. Adam probably knew people when he was in that low estate. This serpent is most likely one of those people who knew him in that low estate, right? This other nation of people saw him when he was in this low estate, and then now he's rising above them, right? So they're getting jealous, right? And that's why it's the same spirit, and the way you can tell that is the same spirit that this serpent carries is the same spirit that our oppressor carries, right? Our oppressor does not care if you are. He doesn't really care if you in the hood and you doing what he wants you to do, and you are just as dirty and disgusting as him, right? When you are a drug dealer, just like he's a drug dealer. When you're a drug user, just like he's a drug user. When you're a pimp and a murderer and prostitutes, just like he is, he's fine. But once you get the breath of life and the law, statutes, commandments, he's going to come at you and he's going to attack you where you're weak. So what the serpent did was he came to the woman, right? It says, and he said unto the woman. He did not come to Adam with this doctrine. He came to Eve because she was the weaker vessel, right? All right, let's keep reading. All right. And he said unto Eve, Yea, the Most High, yea, hath the Most High said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. Verse 2. And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. Verse 3. But the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. All right, so when it's talking about these trees, right, and eating of the fruit, right, that means these trees are nations, right? We see that in Isaiah where it talks about how other nations, other people were trees in the garden, right? So these nations being trees, the Most High said, listen, you can eat from the trees of the garden. So all of these cultures that are in the garden at this time were fine, right? So you might get and this is I go over this with like fake Israelites and Christians all the time, right? Because just because your doctrine is not necessarily against what the Most High says, right? You don't teach everything the Most High says, right? So you may teach, repentance and living by the law, statutes, commandments, but then somehow you teach that anybody can do it or it's open to anyone. That's not the case, right? But if you were just seeking to the law, statutes, and commandments and stuff like that, then you'd be teaching the same doctrine as in here. So what we see was going on with Eve is some of these other nations were teaching things and showing things that were good and okay for them to take in, right? But then this one, this one tree, right? It's the tree of good and evil. So what does that mean, right? Like Satan's biggest tool for our people is the 80 to 90% truth, right? Because what happens is we'll get that 80 to 90% truth and believe all of it. And it gets us to believe that 10 or 20% that's the lie, right? So the Most High was warning against this specific one. Listen, this one is one that you should not take in. And in fact, let's see, where's it at? I'm sorry. But yeah, it says that this is in the midst of the garden, right? It's right here in the middle of the garden. But don't take of that tree. Do not take of that culture, right? That culture is destruction. Those people are only for death, right? All right, let's keep reading. Verse 5. For the Most High doth know that in the day you eat thereof, your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as the powers, knowing good and evil. Now, I find this very significant, especially considering the previous chapters, right? Let me do a quick double check. All right, so now this tree, if we're strictly going by specific biblical references, right? This tree and things dealing with this tree are the first mentions of the word evil in the Bible, right? Every other thing in creation, as far as condition went, was considered good, right? The Most High created everything and it was good. This was good. This was good. This was good. However, this tree, this philosophy, this order, and this system was the first thing that the Most High called or classified as having evil, right? And the biggest seduction and trick is that we believe and that we've been told to believe, right? is that this was the tree of knowledge. That's not the case, right? It's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. But what most people outside of this school do not consider is that everything that the Most High created was good. So we had full knowledge of the good. What we had not had knowledge of was good and evil. We had not had knowledge of the evil part. And that's how in the scriptures it can say, in all thy getting, get understanding. And then it also can say, that, it's like, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but, the reading of too many books leads to a weary soul. Why is that? Because you don't need to consume everything that is out there. There are some things that are a detriment to you. And its consumption alone, even though it may have some value in some way, will destroy you from the inside out, right? All right, Salakia. All right, Salakia about that. So again, all right. So she was convinced by this serpent that she was missing out on something, right? She didn't understand, and again, like I said, most Christians don't understand this. Most fake Israelite groups don't understand this. What she was missing out on, what she did not have the taste of, was the knowledge of evil, right? The tree offered the knowledge of good and evil, but you already have the knowledge of good, so the knowledge of evil is the only thing that you have to gain from touching the tree of life, right? And then the serpent, when he said, "Ye shall not surely die," he was appealing to Eve's, what's called her carnal nature, right? She does not understand completely and fully. And we see in, I believe it's Job 39 and 17, I believe, where it says that the Most High has deprived her of wisdom, right? She's not wise enough to understand this. And this is why our women cannot be out of order, right? Because with our women out of order, it leads our families into a greater state of destruction, especially now, especially in these times when society and everything that we've been raised in has given the women the leadership, right? So if the women are the leaders and they are the heads of our community, then they are the ones who must correct their actions, because it starts from the perceived top down, right? If it started from the actual top down, our nation would not be in any our nation would be fine. Because if it was from the actual top down, then every so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American would be following Commanding General Yohana, right? But since it's from the perceived top down, every Black, Hispanic, and Native American is following the orders of a mama, right? And that's not how it's supposed to go, right? So when she was thinking so carnally after at what the serpent said, he said, "Ye shall not surely die." She believed that what the Most High was getting at was a physical death, like dropping over, not breathing, death, right? When you're in the truth and you understand what actually living and actually dying is, you understand that operating inside the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God is life. And operating outside of that standard is death. Death is just another term for sin. Because all sin is separation from the Most High. All sin is disobedience to the Most High. All sin is pure disrespect to the face of the Most High. Like it, and even to take it back carnally, right? You have to think about it in this way. If your own children blatantly disregarded your rules in your face and basically dared you to do something, I mean, there's nothing more disrespectful that I can think of than that. But yet that's what we do. And that is what Eve did in this situation. She went and blatantly disrespected the Most High and disrespected her husband, right? Because that's okay. I just went over this in class on Wednesday, right? The Most High says that men are His representation and women are the representation of the men. So when you disrespect your husband, you are disrespecting the Most High. That's just how it works, right? And if that's not the husband that you feel like you should respect, or you feel like, oh, he's not right, well, then you should not have laid with him. Because the way it is he is your husband, and you shall follow his orders, whether you agree with them or not. Just like Eve should have done in this situation. She thought that she knew better, and she had a better idea. But her husband had already told her not to eat of that tree, but she decided to go on to what she understood and the wisdom that she had. So she came up and created in her own mind a reason to go ahead and eat of this fruit, to take of this other nation's culture and society. All right, let's keep reading. Verse 5. For the Most High doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. Now, right here, the biggest problem is we don't understand what we're reading, so it's easy to misinterpret, right? So let's go through this slow. For the Most High doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, your eyes shall be open. Your eyes shall be open simply means that you will experience something new and have to take in that experience for what it is based off of your previous perception. But let's keep going and see what this leads to, right? And ye shall be as gods. He is tempting her. But now, mind you, this is before she ate it. He is tempting her with a power she does not know. That the word gods here, and actually, if you're following along in your Bible, you will notice that it's like I'll get the Strong's numbers for you real quick. Slovakia. All right, so if you notice at the beginning, verse 5. All right. What it's saying is, for the Most High doth know, right? And then towards the end it says, ye shall be as gods, right? Notice it's not in the same context, right? It does not say you will be as God, as the Most High with a capital G and no pluralization. It's just saying that basically you will be as the powers, right? Now, here's the biggest trick, right? It says knowing good and evil. Okay. There are two ways that you can know something, right? There are two separate ways that you can know something. Through education, so that means learning about it, right? Which is where a lot of people go when they read this verse. And there's, they will just learn about good and evil. But that is not what happens in this situation. And that is the trick, right? That is the hook, right? That's the part that you don't see come. That is the bug, not the feature, right? Because the other way of knowing something is experience. You don't always have to be taught in an educational setting. You don't always get to know something in an educational setting. Sometimes you get to know something by living through it. So all they had known prior to this was good. Everything that they knew was good, which means everything in their experience was good. By searching and reaching for power that was, let's see how the best way to put this. There's a certain amount of power that each person is given. And when you overstep your bounds or reach too far, right, that is unlawful, right? If a man is like, if a woman tries to usurp a man, that is her overstepping her bounds. That is her reaching too far beyond her power. If a man tries to have more power than Christ, that man is overstepping his bounds. If a child tries to usurp a power or express or show power over their mother, that is too far. That is stretching beyond the bounds. And what this serpent tempted Eve with is power that she did not deserve, power that she did not need, and power that she was not ready for. Right? As a man, you will never be ready for the power of the position that Christ has. There's no time in your life where you know what? I'm ready to be Hamashiach. Unlike them crazy cats in Mississippi, or Memphis, wherever they from. We're not talking about them. We're talking about more relatively sane brothers, right? You understand that trying to usurp the authority or gain power equal to or greater than Christ is a fool's errand. It is a way to destruction. And a woman trying to gain that same power over a man is the exact same thing. And what happened right here is the woman did not just try to go over the man. She tried to be equal to the Most High. That's what she believed she was getting out of this deal, right? Not understanding that 10% of the lie that was the setup, right? Of course, you're not going to die this day. Physically. Spiritually, you're dead, though. Spiritually, you have died immediately, flatlined. But physically, yeah, I mean, you're still walking around. Like, it's zombies out there. That's what it is. You're a zombie. So, I mean, technically, I guess you're not dead. You're undead, but the life has left your body, right? And that is the trick in the whole situation of knowing good and evil. If you only know good, the only gain you have is that evil, right? Let's keep reading. Verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and also gave unto her husband, and he did eat. So, let's go ahead and break this one down real quick. Yeah. Overtime. I'm read 7. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. All right. So what happened was she saw all the benefits. She saw everything great about these other people, right? Oh, well, I mean, and it's perfectly suitable to today, right? You see your oppressor in the way that they live, in the way that they can do and get and be anything they want to be whenever they want to be it. I just saw a new school record set for Penn University or the University of Pennsylvania. It's a private school. It's one of the best schools, and the U.S. The NCAA 500 meter swimming champion of this year is a transgender for the women's. It's baffling. It's insane because this man who competed in college as a man and now is competing in college as a woman, right, is now the champion. Like, he went from number 462. He was ranked 462nd in the NCAA in swimming, and now is number 1 in women's swimming, right? Because we thought that looking at their culture and them being allowed to do whatever they feel like they want to do and be able to claim that they're whoever they say they are, we thought that somehow that was better. We thought that was better than what the Most High gave us, right? And this is what we signed up to. And then as we see in verse 7, as soon as we get into it, we realize, oh, we just exposed out here. That's what it means to be naked. You're exposed. You're vulnerable. You're weak. That's what it means to be naked. Not literally naked, right? Any so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native American man who has an issue with another brother on the streets, when he walks out his house and he does not have a weapon on him, he is, you can ask him yourself, he's naked. He's vulnerable. He's weak. He ain't got what he need to have on. Right? And so that's what Adam and Eve quickly found out. The Most High is our protection. The Most High is who we need to cover us. And as soon as we start getting into these nations and getting into these cultures and societies that the Most High did not give us, that the Most High told us to stay away from, that the Most High warned us over and over and over and over again against, as soon as we step in them, we feel naked. Just like that so-called black coach in the NFL. He got him a so-called white woman. He got a little family. He making his money. And as soon as he feels and understands and realizes, Slakia, but nigga, you's a nigga, Oh, he wants to call all the so-called black community to come and support him. No, you chose them. You chose them, and now since they turned on you, now you coming back. No, stay out there with them. You exposed, you naked. Stay out there. Why? Because you have shown no love for your people because you chose the love of another. Right? And that's exactly what happened right here in Genesis, the 3rd chapter, up to the 7th verse. And since we over the time with that, shalom.